Hi, welcome to the Rittner Floral School in Boston, Mass. I'm Dr. Steve Rittner, and it's a pleasure to welcome you into one of our classrooms today. The theme, well, it's around St. Patrick's Day, and what we thought it would be kind of fun to do is to talk about how you can take one particular product and use it to enhance some of your St. Patrick's Day designs. What is that product? Well, you'll see. We've got here a very nice little arrangement. It's pretty, it's cute. It definitely has a St. Patrick's Day theme. If you look closely at it, it's got a green kind of container, perfect for the holiday. It happens to have a little bit of our green hydrangea in it, a few roses, white roses, some athos green palms, combination of baker fern and some of our huckleberry, and a hydrangea here that's a light green, lime green kind of hydrangea. It's very, very pretty. It's an amazing little design, and it works very, very well for the holiday. But what we want to show you in this video is how you can take a particular kind of floral product, and this is one that we absolutely love, and use it to enhance your St. Patrick's Day designs. Now, this is Bells of Ireland. Isn't it amazing? It is a very, very pretty material. It's available around this time of the year, although from some of our sources in Central and South America, we can get it pretty much through the year. We love this stuff. It is absolutely amazing, and we can use something like this to enhance something like this very, very quickly and easily. Now, on our Bells of Ireland, there is something you need to know in terms of care and handling. Bells of Ireland do like to have lots of water. So generally, in terms of our conditioning, it's always good to remove any of the floral material, the foliage and flowers and so forth that are lower on the stems. Cut the stems, put them in water, let them hydrate well. These can be used with best results really in water-based media. We can use our Bells of Ireland also in foam-based media, but it's pretty much for the occasion. In other words, it won't hold up quite as well. It generally holds up best really in water-based. And we've got a combination of things in today's demo that we're going to show you that are both foam-based and a lot of water-based designs as well. So I think you're going to find it interesting. Now, how can you use this product to enhance your designing? Well, look, let me show you. We can take our Bells of Ireland, and let me show you just how quickly this stuff works so very nicely. If we take a few stems of our Bells of Ireland, we can take it, break it down. It breaks down very, very nicely. And here we've taken our design, which was a relatively small and very, very cute design, but with a few pieces of our Bells of Ireland, notice how a tiny, itty-bitty little design now becomes instantaneously bigger, a little bit more visually interesting, and more of a linear, high-style kind of thing. That's why we love this particular product. It enables us as designers to come up with some really cool effects, and Bells of Ireland ties in so nicely with the St. Patrick's Day theme. Let me show you, my viewer, another example. Here is another simple design. If you don't want to make it quite as big as our first, here is another example of something incorporating our Bells of Ireland and doing it on a smaller scale. If you look at this design, for example, you have a cylindrical container. We can either coat the inside of the container with aspidistra leaves, or in this particular case, we're using a cool ribbon that kind of simulates aspidistra leaf. It's not a real aspidistra leaf, but it kind of feels like it. And then to create this design, very, very easy. Essentially, two of our Fujis in the green color, absolutely great for the holiday theme. Three of our white carnations, and then we've taken some of our Bells of Ireland and broken it down into smaller pieces to come up with something traditional yet non-traditional, and that is a really, really cool approach. In fact, what you're going to find, my viewer, is as you watch this presentation, you're going to see examples of St. Patrick's Day designs that are definitely not Dad's St. Patrick's Day design or Granddad's St. Patrick's Day designs. These are really cool, and we're making use of some of the latest styles and approaches in terms of the way these things look. But every design here that we're going to show is going to definitely show the use of some of our Bells of Ireland. Look at this one. We've got a novelty container. Sometimes we get these amazing novelty containers that are just perfect for a particular holiday. And this one definitely says St. Patrick's Day with a shamrock. It's green, it's strong, it gives a really great effect. And then, again, a combination of things here. Some of our green Fujis, several green Fujis right here and here. We happen to have some of our green athos palms right here, some of our white roses incorporated here, and for a touch of contrast, a little bit of our yellow daisy palms mixed in, a greenish alstroemeria worked in, and then to give it its flavor and to show just how we can take something that's an everyday kind of thing and make it feel a little bit more interesting, the use of our bells of Ireland, both to cover mechanics down here, a little piece over here, a little piece hanging over there. It makes a design really stand out and look so much more interesting. So when you're doing your St. Patrick's Day designs, by all means, my viewer, consider very, very carefully the use of these things. Oh, notice the little hat in there as well? I think that's pretty darn cool too. In other words, we can do all kinds of things, especially when we're making use of some of our bells of Ireland in some of these St. Patrick's Day arrangements. Now let's see what else we have. We've got another very, very neat product, another neat design, making use of this kind of media, and I think you're going to really find this great. Just bear with me, my viewer, as I locate it here and pick it up for your viewing. Here we go. Again, a very, very neat display. This is a floral box, a floral box. Floral box is a container that is also a box. It has a plastic liner in it, so that it fulfills two functions. It serves as a shipping carton, and it also actually has plastic liner with water. And notice in our floral box we have, of course, our white roses, a yellow carnation, a few yellow roses and palms over here, and then what really adds interest to this design, again, the use of our bells of Ireland here, 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 sticking out over here, and of course one kind of curling around towards the front. And it is, of course, the fact that this particular floral box, it's a very, very neat product and contains water, means that this is really a nice design because it's a bouquet in a water-based situation. And notice we're doing water-based designing, but the fact that our bells of Ireland curve and twist and turn for us allows us to come up with something that definitely feels linear in feeling. It's a really, really cool thing. And we thank the folks at Floral Box for sending the product to us. It works so nicely. Now, what else do we have incorporating some of our bells of Ireland? Well, how about this? Those of you who have watched our videos know that we love sculptural type containers. Sculptural type containers. In other words, a container that stands on its own and almost feels like a piece of sculpture. And this definitely does that. The neat thing about these kinds of containers is that they feel almost like art in and of themselves. We can fill them up with water. There's generally a narrow slit on the top, and we can fit some of our product in. In terms of our focal area on this, we have a nice combination of some white roses and then some of our green hydrangea, a little bit of our foliage worked around it, and then again, to add character, size, and strength to this design, we have some of our bells of Ireland shooting out here, over here, and then again making use of these curves to be able to work it right in to the core of the design. It's a pretty design, it's a strong design, it's definitely contemporary in feeling, and again, the whole concept here is we're doing St. Patrick's Day, but we're showing you ideas that aren't necessarily the same as Grandpa. We want to give you an idea that you can take a holiday that's very traditional and yet come up with some really, really cool things, making use of some of these wonderful materials that we have available to us. Here's another design. This one, again, water-based kind of thing. We have a container, glassware. It's a very, very pretty green container. And we have, again, our materials in it. Look at this. Wow. We happen to have some of our white roses here, a nice little nest of our foliage in here, and to really make the design feel kind of wild and way out, again, our bells of Ireland shooting out here, 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 over on the other side. I think you can see, my viewer, in these designs, we're making use of a number of different elements ranging from containers that are appropriate and the combination of both white and green and maybe sometimes a little yellow for interest in terms of our floral product. But in every single design that we're showing you here, the concept is, let's get in this idea of bells of Ireland to come up with something a little bit different and something that is kind of interesting. And I think you can see the bells of Ireland showing up in all of these pieces. Now, in concluding our little demonstration here, we want to show you just two more ideas that I think you're going to find of interest. Again, we are making use of our bells of Ireland in this. And notice the way this is set up. We have a container that feels almost like something possibly out of a geometry class. It is one of these wild multi-sided type containers. The foam sticks out over on one side, and we are doing this particular one in foam because it's interesting. This is obviously something that would only last for the day. It's something that would work very, very nicely for the holiday, but not much beyond it because it is foam-based media. But let's take a look at what we have here. We have height provided through our curly willow. It comes down here, and it shoots out over here to give us kind of a wild effect. We have several of our Fujis coming in here, giving us a focal area. And then we have line. And line is provided by two different kinds of materials. We've got some of our white daisy palms coming in here, shooting up over here, coming down here, and coming up over here. And then we also happen to have our bells of Ireland, which is the thing on this. It is the visually, I think, the most interesting part of the design outside of the container, coming over here, coming around here, and shooting in here. Yes, contemporary designing, but contemporary designing that is geared towards St. Patrick's Day, and a large part of the element that adds to this design is the use of our bells of Ireland. My viewer, I want to show you one more idea, very, very similar to this one. Let me bring it up here so that you can see it. And it displays, I think, very, very nicely how you can change or alter, come up with a similar approach, but change or alter it depending upon the kind of container you happen to have. On the right side, you have this geometric kind of thing that feels like something out of your geometry class. On the left side, a triangular shaped container. In this case, a triangular shaped container with openings on both sides. Once again, we're making use of the same materials that we used in the last one. Our curly willow, our daisy palms, and some of our bells of Ireland. Taking the bells of Ireland and working it in, we can get a really, really cool effect. Let's just focus on this design. Our curly willow is over here. Notice the curly willow over here on this side, and shooting down here, and a little shooting out over on this side. It gives kind of a wild effect. And then our bells of Ireland creating the overall infrastructure and shape over here, 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 a little over here, and then some of our daisy palms working down and working through the design. Pretty cool stuff, bells of Ireland, isn't it? Really, really neat. At Rittner Floral School, we believe very strongly that floral designing should be quick, easy, and fun. Anytime we encounter a product that will help us enhance that approach, we love to embrace it. And with St. Patrick's Day coming up, Bells of Ireland is a wonderful, wonderful product to be able to play with. In this brief video, you've seen a wide range of different designs, all with a very, very contemporary 21st century look, in large part because of this really, really neat stuff. So guys, go out, grab some Bells of Ireland, grab some of your containers, play with it a little bit, see what you come up with. Our staff here at Rittner's Floral School, we've all been working very hard to provide you with this particular demo. We hope that you enjoyed this brief visit into one of our classrooms. On behalf of all of us here at Rittner's Floral School, I'm Dr. Steve Rittner. We thank you for coming in and visiting our classroom today. Happy St. Patrick's Day.